Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April 3rd, 2025 Northampton County Council meeting. Mr. Gafredo, will you lead us in the pledge, please? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Could we please have a moment of silent reflection? Thank you. Ms. Shafnisky, will you call the roll?
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Corpora?
Here.
Mr. Giovanni? Mr. Gafredo?
Here.
Mr. Heckman?
Here.
Speaking?
Here.
Mr. Kraft?
Here.
Ms. Fargo Hefner?
Here.
Mr. Warren?
Here.
All present except for Mr. Giovanni.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of March 20, 2025 meeting?
So moved.
I'll make the motion.
I'll take Ken as a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next, we have courtesy of the floor. No one has signed in. Is there anybody who wishes to speak to courtesy of the floor this evening? If so, state your name, city, and remember that you have only 5 minutes.
Hello again. It's Jack Ciavolello. I'm a resident of Bethlehem. I'm here today mainly to say thank you to this county for, working with us, with Lehigh University, and putting a polling location on our campus. I'm thankful for all that you guys have done, all that Mr. McClure, Mrs. Peterzak, and what the county has done. And I think that what you guys have done in this county should be a model for the rest of the nation in how you guys approach and address issues of voting, and I'm thankful that you guys have worked with us on that. Now, I hope that in the future, the efforts that our polling location that we have now at the Vine Street Church is going to be a permanent one. I hope that it's maintained by both the school and the county, and I implore you guys to continue your commitment to voting integrity and to the civic health of many of our residents in Bethlehem. So thank you guys all for that. That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to courtesy of the floor? Hearing none. This evening, we have a proclamation. Mr. Ryan Parrish is present today. Thank you. To accept the proclamation for designation of April 2025 as PA 811 Safe Digging Month, Ms. Kelly Keegan is going to present the proclamation to you if you want to come down. However you want to do it.
I'll read it first, and then we'll come down. All right, so, and I'm so glad that I got my new readers today, because I had to bump up a... All right, this is a proclamation designating the month of April 2025 be recognized as Pennsylvania 811 Safe Digging Month. Whereas it is important to minimize damage to underground utility lines, danger to workers, environmental pollution, and loss of utility service to Pennsylvania citizens, and whereas the Pennsylvania One Call System, a utility service information center celebrating its 53rd year of continuous service to the Commonwealth, is key to preventing injuries and damage when excavating. And whereas Pennsylvania state law requires that excavators or homeowners give a minimum 3 business days before digging, because safe digging is no accident, prevents injury, protects the environment, and prevents millions of dollars in damages. And whereas Pennsylvania 811 received over 1 million excavation notifications in 2024 and transmitted approximately 6 million notifications to their member facility owners and operators, allowing essential utility and construction crews to provide vital underground services and repair of critical infrastructure to communities throughout Pennsylvania. And whereas this unique service provides easy one-call notification about construction and excavation projects which may endanger workers and jeopardize utility lines while promoting workplace and public safety and protecting the environment. And whereas by dialing 811 at least 3 business days before digging, a homeowner or contractor is connected to a unique service that notifies the appropriate underground utility operators in the municipality in which the work will be performed. And by notifying 811 of their intent to dig, the homeowner or contractor is knowingly helping to protect the underground utilities, themselves, their work crew, and their neighbors from any unsafe digging practices within their community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Northampton County Council hereby designates the month of April 2025 as Pennsylvania 811 Safe Digging Month to encourage all excavators and homeowners of Northampton County to dial 811 or 1-800-242-1776 at least 3 days before digging in order to know what's below, and that more information may be obtained by visiting pa811.org.
Oh, clap. Mr. Parrish, if you want to say a few words?
No, I can't. No, I don't.
Hey, it's his thing. Once a month, once a year.
I just want to remind everybody, like mentioned,
Talk in the mic, sir.
we remind everybody, like mentioned, just call 3 days in advance before you guys do any excavation. And if you're going to hire an excavator to do excavating for you, make sure they are the ones that actually dial 811, because if something gets damaged, you don't want to be liable for something that the excavator did. Okay.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
guys for having me.
Next, Mr. McClure, do you have a report for us this evening?
Good evening, Council. As you know, we're preparing to repair our garage. We're going to tear it down and build it up, and I think Mr. Goffredo's serving on some committees as we move this process forward. And as part of that endeavor, we have to go out and borrow the money. And in advance of doing that, you have to do something known as a ratings call. And we had our ratings call with Moody's Ratings Bureau. And I wanted to report to you tonight because I know there was concern. And of course, as the holders of the purse strings, there always should be. But there was concern when we were borrowing the money that borrowing the money would negatively impact our financial position. And as we've seen over time, we're good, right? So we had our ratings call. And you need to get your Moody's rating before they take your bonds to market, which we plan on doing sometime later this summer. And Moody's has a series of ratings, and they go from AAA to AA to A to BAA, BA, B, CAA, CA, and C. You do not want to be C. C is obligations rated C are the lowest rated and are typically in default with little prospect for recovery or principal of interest. So I'm here to tell you tonight we are not C. We are not also AAA. AAA is their highest designation, and that is obligations rated AAA are judged to be of the highest quality, subject to the lowest level credit risk. And I'm going to explain to you in a minute why we're not AAA. But what we are is AA, its second highest rating. Let me repeat, Northampton County's Moody's rating is AA. And that means obligations rated AA are judged to be of high quality and are subject to very low credit risk, which of course makes you very attractive to borrowers. Now, Moody's goes on to say in a note that Moody's appends numerical modifiers 1, 2, and 3 to each generic rating classification from AA through CAA. The modifier 1 indicates that the obligation ranks in the higher end of its generic rating category. The modifier 2 indicates a mid-range ranking, and modifier 3 indicates a ranking in the lower end of that generic rating category. So remember, we're in a very good category, wherein our obligations are AA and judged of high quality and be subject to very low risk. But our rating is AA1, which means we are the very highest in our pool. We're very proud of that. And I wanted to, so that you understood what an excellent financial and fiscal condition we are in Northampton County, I wanted to compare our ratings to some other local governments, which are all very, very well run, in my opinion. But they are AA2, A2, AA2, AA3, and even the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is AA2. So we have the best bond rating going around here. So the reason we're not, in my view, AAA, the ratings bureaus dislike two things. They dislike tax cuts. Well, I'm a tax cutter, and I cut taxes in 2022, and there's always a suspicion that I might try to do it again. So they don't like tax cutters at the ratings bureaus. The other thing they don't like counties like us who maintain a moral obligation to have a long-term care facility. They don't like counties who own nursing homes. So while we're really, really pleased that we're AA1, we would be AAA if I wasn't a tax cutter and we didn't have a nursing home and a moral obligation to keep it. That's all I have with that.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. McClure this evening?
Thank you.
Is there any old business to discuss?
I have a question. When we get invitations, I know that there's an ordinance that we can't receive gifts. If we get an invitation like the Iron Pigs event last week, and we go, do we have to submit our receipts? Like, how do we prove that we didn't accept a gift?
That's an interesting question. Only because when pardon? Do you want to speak? It was never addressed. There was only the discussion of de minimis versus not. It was never discussed how to report. So
At a minimum, it should be.
you need to put your mic on.
At a minimum, term disclosed in your financial form. I think that's required to be filed by May 1st in each year with the clerk. So whatever you need to list it.
No, but I mean, if we're not allowed to accept gifts. So,
Not.
but if we attend, like if I go to the Iron Pigs event, can somebody ask for my receipts? Like how do you know I didn't accept a gift?
Your personal integrity, at that point. If someone would confront you, you didn't accept the gift.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
I don't want to interrupt anyone. Am I
You're
free to
clear.
talk?
You're clear, Mr. Heckman.
All right, this is what always bothered me about this thing. I understand what we did. Pretty much we used lawyer language to clean up what we already had. And Mr. Spinotti, I agree, personal integrity means a lot here. But I mean, I've talked to people in other governmental institutions. If what Ms. Keegan's talking about is you were invited, like other people and governments are, you're not being invited to the Plaza Hotel for a Trump announcement with lobster and hors d'oeuvres. You're invited to the AAA ballpark, and let's say they have sodas there, or let's say they have hamburgers, day-old hot dogs. I think it's crazy to say, oh, somehow you're doing something and getting something that the general public. I mean, if you go down that rabbit hole far enough, you're gonna come out by ending up saying that some of this stuff had something to do with the JFK assassination. So I think, when you get elected, people are also looking at your common sense. I would hope they are. And if you have to start listing, I mean, what if somebody said, hey, Ron, we're giving out bookmarks because of all the great work people, elected officials did in the Lehigh Valley? I mean, we're going to have a 10-page you know, financial disclosure form. So personally, from my perspective, and it's not a legal perspective, it's just good old-fashioned common sense, I just don't see, if Ms. Keegan pulled up in a chauffeur, if they had a chauffeur-driven car to pick her up, and then she had a Fiat parked in her driveway, courtesy of the Iron Pigs, that's something else. But I mean, we're talking about sodas and hot dogs, for God's sakes. How many hot dogs could you eat? How many sodas could you drink? So I don't know. I just think that my fear with this was, at the end of the day, just like laws are great. We need laws. Laws protect us from ourselves because we are not the best species on the planet. But at some point, a law is only as good as the people who abide by it. So it's great to get on about. I was watching the show about insider trading on Congress, and it's fantastic. You should look into it. How much money these people, millions and millions of dollars, trading stocks or their spouse on things that were in front of them at a committee. I mean, to me, that is a problem. Ms. Keegan being invited and being given a soda or a hot dog, come on. I mean, we can get carried away with this nonsense. Now, that's just me as a fellow member of council. You know, I know how this genesis started. Councils always were invited with Lehigh County to go to a garage band concert at Steel Stocks once a year, and it actually was done by one of their sponsors. And you know, it was nice, and we talked to our other officials and whatnot. But then it became a big deal because somebody always had to post pictures online. And so whether you thought that was bad or not, I mean, that's up to somebody else to figure out. Let that Supreme Court arbitrate that. But bottom line is, I'm sorry for taking up so much time, because after I saw this thing about Congress and why people hate Congress anymore and federal government, I could see why. These people make millions and millions, Democrat and Republican. I'm not going to begrudge Ms. Keegan or anybody else on council a hot dog and a Coke. And I think if we say, well, you have to account for that somehow, good God. I mean, what are we doing? We're chasing our tails. Heckman out.
Thank you, Mr. Heckman. Well, this is the way I feel about it. Businesses want us there as county commissioners, but we have this ordinance that we have to pay for. We can't accept gifts, but they want us to be present, and they're inviting us, but we can't go to everything because it's too expensive to go to everything and not accept a gift. So I just didn't know what everybody felt about that.
I think when we started to discuss this before we passed it, the idea of a de minimis amount was discussed. So I don't know if we ever set that actual amount, if we said $50 or under, or $100 or under. But again, I don't think that evening at the Iron Pigs would have amounted to an excessive amount. The tickets were whatever face value were. But if you want us to discuss it further and create a policy, we could address it at governance, and we could open it up and take a look at it, and we could propose. Or if you have some language you want to propose to clean it up and clarify it.
I think it would be nice.
Because I don't think anybody here is, well, I shouldn't speak. I don't know that anyone is accepting gifts of a great value that would not disclose such.
Yeah, two reasons I'm bringing it up is because I think it would be nice if we attended more things, but I mean, we certainly can't pay for everything. If people are inviting us and it's under a certain amount, I think it would be nice for us to be able to go and attend. We are being invited. But then on the other hand, I don't want to go and then have somebody ask me, well, did you save all your receipts? And I don't want to get in trouble. So that's why I'm bringing it up. But I would like to maybe open this up and look at it and maybe change it. That's all.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Any other?
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
In line with that was discussion, I've got a ton of coffee cups, the Christmas rush, from people who want you to pay attention on my desk at the council chambers, and anyone can be free to take them because Margaret has told me that if I bring another damn cup home, she's going to hit me with it. So there you go.
Thank you. We'll have Ron's Coffee Cup Day in the future, and we'll announce when that is. Thank you very much, sir. Any other old business? New business, we have the introduction of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the County Council of Northampton County authorizing the conveyance of a deed of easement, East Bulls Head Road, right-of-way, Willowbrook Road, right-of-way containing 4,864.75 square foot right-of-way easement, more or less as determined by survey of real property by the County of Northampton in the Township of Allen, Pennsylvania, to the Township of Allen." Would someone please sponsor this ordinance? Okay, I will. Anyone co-sponsor?
I'll co-sponsor. I can sponsor,
Well,
Madam
was it your
President.
district? I didn't
It
know.
is,
Okay,
yes.
so then Mr. Warren's going to
I'll
sponsor.
sponsor.
And I'm going to co-sponsor. And public hearing, debate, and possible vote will be held at the April 17th, 2025 meeting. Mr. Spadoni observed while he was looking at it this evening that there is a transposition of the zip code of the lawyer's office at 18108. It's 18018 on both, so if we can contact him or redo that before we actually vote on it. Thank you. Is there any other new business to discuss? Are there any council committee reports?
Madam President, the Economic Development Committee met today and specifically had a presentation from the Easton Housing Authority. Got an update on some projects that they have been working on, and the Human Services Committee met today as well. We were introduced to the new Graysdale Administrator, and we received a report from the Director of Human Services.
Thank you. Any liaison reports? Mr.
I don't know
Gafredo?
what this falls under, but I met with Mr. Barron, Mr. Emili, and the procurement team for the bids for the architectural and engineering design and the construction management for the parking deck. We're narrowing it down to 3 construction management firms, 5 architectural firms. I believe at that point, then we'll be having interviews, discussing with council. But there's a lot of firms from the Lehigh Valley that are involved, and the pricing seems to be very competitive, so all is going well.
Thank you. Any other liaison reports? Mr. Warren?
The Penn State Agricultural Extension met last week. They gave a update on their various programs that they have been continuing to embark on throughout the year, and specifically as we're getting into the spring. And they also talked about the upcoming state budget as well. And I just wanted to note that some of us are going to be sending a letter to our state legislative delegation here in Northampton County in support of the $4 million that the Penn State Ag Council and extensions throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania are asking for as part of one of the line items in the upcoming state budget. So I believe Ms. Keegan and Mr. Kapora are on that letter as well. Just wanted to give that update on the ag extension.
Thank you. Any other liaison reports? GPA was held this Tuesday morning. We had the update from the auditor, and we got a clear audit. And we also got an update on the bridge progress. There are still pending items due after March 31st, I believe. We took a vote to declare them in default of the contract. And if they did not complete the items by March 31st, there's still some punch list items. The big thing that was outstanding that we knew about was that we had to wait till April 14th or 16th, I believe, for that one thing that they have to move, and we have to wait for the flaggers, and that was already scheduled, but there's still other things beyond that that are not done. So the GPA is still considering whether a payment will be made in April or not. So we're just hoping that things will get tied up before that time. And are there any other liaison reports? Any council clerk's report?
Nothing.
Solicitor?
Nothing.
Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Ken second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.